you've always been credited for some of the best acquisitions, and you know, you're the early mover in Asia and India, and which is why such a strong
organically
position.
As well as by acquisition.
Organically as well.
If you can find an acquisition with $50 million of revenue, please let me know.
I will.
We will pay you a substantial fee for doing it.
That's on record.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I mean, you have, you know, your competitors like Omnicom, Publicis, Dentsu now, all now...
Not here in India, they are.
Struggling to, you know, get...
Really struggling.
To get a grip, you know, in
I think Publicis have acknowledged that they can't get a grip, so they've sort of given up here, I think, from what I've heard. Omnicom have been, and that's, you know, Anil Ambani, one of the master deal makers, removed their fingers over Mudra. And then, of course, we've had Dentsu having their fingers removed by Taproot. So I do think that these transactions, if the numbers quoted are true, and we've been given guidance on the numbers, if the numbers are accurate, they've really encouraged people to put valuations on businesses which are not just economically viable or sustainable.
Fair enough, but my point is, you know, I'm really going to talk about Madison. You have made many public statements about Madison. Are you saying that you are not interested in Madison if it were up for...
No, I mean, if you're asking me another question was, you know, if Madison was available at the right price, of course, you know, you'd be a lunatic not to be interested.
What would you define as the right price?
Oh, that's between me and me, or me and people in our organisation. No, but no, my view is our metrics are pretty standard. We alter the metrics depending on the nature of the business, what it does, where it does, the quality of its record, the quality of its people, the quality of its clients, what people like you say about it, would you believe, what analysts say about it, and you know, so there are all sorts of variables. But you know, we have and maybe consistency is the hobgoblin of small minds, and maybe we're wrong, but that's our approach. The answer to your question really is there are some limits beyond which we are not prepared to go. Now we have our joint company with Sam. Mediacom. And that's done brilliantly due to our people's efforts and to Sam's efforts, and we're delighted with that. And you know, that's really sort of a watertight compartment. I mean, it has nothing to do with Madison itself. It's a separate business, and it's not affected by any of the discussions that you're talking about.
A candid question being, I mean, you know Madison, you know Sam very well. Every time you visit India, you make it a point to meet him. You'll have had several discussions regarding if Sam was interested to sell in the past. Don't you think with every passing year, and given the facts where Madison stands today, you know, they're on shaky ground because they've lost significant business.
Well, he's also gained it. I mean, to be fair, his business is in.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Everybody wins and loses.
I mean, he's also, I'm sure you're already aware, he's also about to lose Britannia to MEC. So the fact is, with every passing year, don't you think his valuation is decreasing and the time to sell would be right now?
No, I don't think that, I mean, I don't know is the honest answer. I mean, he has a daughter who's in the business. You know, he has longevity. So, you know, listen, if I was Sam, I mean, it's up to him. It's a very personal decision. As far as I'm concerned, you know, I would like WPP to go on forever. Not necessarily with me, but you know, that would be something that some people would not find acceptable. But you know, I think just like us, he's in the business of building a long-term brand. You know, Harold Mitchell is a sort of a comparable, but in an Australian context. You know, powerful. He had a son in the business too, but he decided to sell his business, and he did a brilliant trade. I mean, all these media people are brilliant master traders, aren't they, by virtue of what they do? So Harold sold his business to Aegis, and he took much of the consideration in stock, and then he doubled up when the Japanese came along, when Dentsu came along. The Dentsu transaction is not actually closed. You know, the interesting thing about Dentsu and Aegis is that the MOFCOM in China is still not given regulatory clearance, so it's still stuck for the moment, or still not stuck, being reviewed by the Chinese authorities. Being a Japanese company, obviously, in the context of China at the moment, is not exactly a positive thing.
Are you saying that deal might not go through?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what MOFCOM. I mean, I think there is a sort of quite a strict process there. They have to acknowledge receipt, I think, of the documentation, and then they have 120 days to opine. They said that MOFCOM had not acknowledged receipt of the file or documents, so the 120 days is still not running. And there's a backstop date of February on the transaction, so they'll probably have to extend the deal a bit more.
Okay.
But it's not much fun being a Japanese company in China at the moment, because of the anti-Japanese feeling over the islands.
But I mean, Dentsu is suddenly seems to be very serious about India, and you know they're currently the best payers in the market. If
best payers in what sense? You
in
mean the best
currently.
overpayers?
Possibly, but for the seller,
best payers,
it's a dream come true. For a seller, it's a dream come true.
Well, it depends on what the seller wants. I mean, I'm not sure I agree with you on that. It depends on what the seller wants. Part of what happens in these situations, which people forget, is that a lot of this is sort of the mutual synergy. So, and this is where the earn-out sort of structure is not a great structure, actually, because you end up paying for your own goodwill. But if I put, one company together with another, and as a result, the other company gets a benefit from us, income flows into it, and then I pay a multiple, for me to pay an extraordinarily high multiple is ludicrous, right? So I should pay a sane multiple and not overpay, because the company that I'm acquiring will be bigger as a result of the fact that it's aligned with us rather than being unaligned. So I'm not sure I agree with what you're saying. You might be right that they are the highest initial payers, whether in the long run and for the life of the earn-out, if there is an earn-out, or even beyond that, they're the best payers or not, is a question of judgment.
If you want to exit the business.
Dentsu's record in terms of partnerships, right? We have a partnership with Dentsu, right? Through DYR, which has been going on for many, many years and has never been as successful as we would have liked it to be. It never fulfilled its... Dentsu bought Collett Dickinson & Pierce, which doesn't exist anymore. Now, it bought McGarry Bowen a few years ago. That was very successful for the period of the earn-out, but the last few months, McGarry Bowen has lost at least, I'm aware, at least 3 major pieces of business. So again, I come back to this thing. I don't think Taproot in the long term is sustainable, but we shall see. Maybe I've been wrong before, maybe wrong again.
Lovely meeting you once again. And when you do buy Madison, I'm exhausted. Please tell me. Please do let me know.
We will do. We will do. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you very much.